Hello, my friends. In today's video, you'll learn about the man who lived in a tomb for 15 years and witnessed unusual events during the dark nights inside the cemetery. But before this video begins, please, so you don't forget, click like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. The problem of income distribution remains very real in many parts of the world. Even though there are many housing, assistance, and homeownership projects in some places, many people still live on the streets. However, the case of the man in this story is a little more unique. To avoid living on the streets, he lived in a space of approximately 3 cubic meters, which is the scene of nightmares for most people. There, he used his clothes as a mattress, had a blanket, and a makeshift clothesline. He stated that he wasn't afraid to live there, but, like any citizen, he wanted to have his own home. Better than living on the street, anywhere in the city. "It's not my home, but I wanted to have a really nice home," the man said at the time. But what place could be less bad than the street to live and still scare people? Anyone who has passed through the Marialva Municipal Cemetery in the Mira region of Brazil may have been startled to hear a deep voice coming from a grave. It was a man who had lived alone for more than 15 years in an abandoned grave. "There are a lot of people who are scared of me," bricklayer Edson Carvalho told the journalist interviewing him, laughing heartily and puffing with pleasure on a cigarette provided by the photographer on the reporting team. Many people who live near the cemetery know Edson's story. "He's a good guy, nice, loved by everyone," commented teacher Maidani Moreira. "He's a very funny and intelligent man. I'm good friends with him. We always have a few drinks together," boasted truck driver Adriano. But not all the living approved of Edson's presence among the departed. The cemetery coordinator has always been a major critic of this unusual stay. Since taking office, he has authorized several notices for the resident to leave the mausoleum. "The inspector goes there in the morning and never finds him at the mausoleum," he said, complaining that the tenant was a rowdy and would approach people during funerals to ask for money. The coordinator's statements, however, do not match the accounts of the cemetery's own employees. "Edson is not a rowdy, he's quiet, keeping to himself," commented a municipal employee who works at the cemetery and did not wish to be identified. "I've never seen him ask for money at a funeral," remarked another civil servant who also preferred to remain anonymous. The journalist conducting the interview added that it was even hard to believe the man lived inside a mausoleum. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, thin, and with a well-groomed beard in one of the cemetery's 4 24-hour restrooms, Edson said he ended up at the cemetery in 2006 after his home, a construction shack, burned down. "I lost everything I had," he said, referring to his ID, clothes, a pair of sneakers, a mattress, and a blanket. The bricklayer also said that, contrary to popular belief, the cemetery isn't quite as peaceful as it seems. At night, when the city is asleep, the cemetery takes on a different tone than usual. Couples enter the cemetery in the dead of night to make love and climb over the wall to fulfill their desires, certain that the only witnesses are the buried souls. And they're unaware of the man's presence inside one of the mausoleums, observing every detail of their relationships. "I see everything they do," he revealed, proud of his privileged residence. Edson assured that he was never afraid to live there, not even at night. "It's possible to have a schism, but once you're asleep, you forget. In the morning, you get up, Take a look at everything there, and it's the same," he said at the time. Regarding the abandoned tomb, the family was reportedly notified, but there was no response. At the time of this report, the city hall responsible for the cemetery reported that social workers were obtaining the bricklayer's personal documents to enroll him in the municipal housing program and help him with health care. Recently, Edson stopped being a living resident within the cemetery. Don't think he's far from the dead or that he no longer frequents the site. With support from the city hall, a makeshift space was created, and the bricklayer occupied part of a shed next to the cemetery. It's just a wall that divides Edson's house from the abode of the dead. I'm happy because now I have electricity, water, and the space is much larger than the tomb. The house is simple, but for someone who's had nowhere to go, this is wonderful. The tranquility is the same as in the old house, he said. Edson also makes a point of thanking those who didn't accept his situation of living in the grave, inside the cemetery. "I have a sister here in Marialva, but she's married and has her own problems. I don't like to disturb her. I've been living on the streets since my parents died, and now I'm on my own." The ones who said they would get me out of the grave were Councilwoman Josiane da Silva and Mayor Victor Martini, whom I'm always grateful to, because they really did, Edson emphasized. Edson lives alone because he has no children and no one to share his daily life with. The man who spent almost a third of his life sharing the same space with the dead may have found a similarity in living with those who have passed. Oblivion. We hope Edson is happy in his new home. And you, if you lost your home, would you live in a cemetery? Leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like it. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel for easy access to our stories. And stay tuned as we publish videos with updates on the stories we share here whenever possible. Thank you, and see you soon.
Assista ao vídeo indicado.
Watch the dubbed video.
Mira el video doblado.
吹き替え版の動画を見てね. شاهد الفيديو المدبلج. 더빙된 영상 봐. Regarde la vidéo doublée. Schau dir das synchronisierte Video an. Guarda il video doppiato. Смотри дублированное видео. Dub kiya hua video dekho. Dublaj de videoyu izle. Tonton video yang sudah didubbing.